Yes, bitch. Yes. She said, I know time's more valuable for you because you're old. Yo, look at her face. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, pro-Trump Republicans versus anti-Trump Republicans, middle ground. Let's take a look.
I don't want someone in power that's going to not want to leave. I don't want someone.
Oh my God. Like, you are not a Republican. There's just no freaking way.
Behind every never Trump Republican is a
Jubilee went from just like, bro, Jubilee went from having like, I don't know, normal, regular, gay ass liberals go up against like professional Republicans to basically going, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just fill the entire deck. Let's stack the deck with all professional Republicans this time. I mean, this is straight up just pro-Trump Republicans, which are all professional Republicans, versus anti-Trump Republicans, which are, again, all professional Republicans.
story for why that person is weak.
Did you mean Barack Hussein Obama?
January 6th.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That's, oh, my queen. My queen. Okay. I love this already. This is phenomenal. Okay. Good start. Strong start. Strong start. Let's go.
Self. I mean, was it a bad day? Absolutely. It was a bad day.
I have to disagree.
Quiet.
I got a piece.
Lady Maga, can you guide everybody in a deep breath? Hey, my name's John. I host a podcast called Radical Empathy. I also directed the Flat Earthers episode of Middle Ground. And as punishment, I've been asked by Ragini to moderate today's episode between pro-Trump Republicans and anti-Trump Republicans. The first prompt is, Trump is an honest man. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Fact-checking in this episode was powered by Ground News, a platform that helps you compare coverage across the political spectrum.
Lady Maga, why don't you start us off?
Trump is an honest man because he has stood up for the truth in this country and paid the price for it. He has been persecuted more than any other political figure in modern times. And if he wasn't telling the truth, I don't think he would stick by it. And also, all of the witch hunts haven't really found him caught as a liar, so to speak, yet. So I believe he's an honest man. And I mostly believe he honestly loves this country. That's the most important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think by virtue of how honest he is with his remarks and how off the cuff he is proof of how honest he really is. If perhaps he was more like Obama, someone willing to lie simply to get votes, to kind of hide his perspectives, he might be a little more popular by some of the other folks here today. But because he's very honest, he says things like shithole country, you know, he's impugned sometimes for that off-the-cuff honesty that I really respect, considering that we don't have a lot of honesty.
What countries is he talking about when he says shithole countries, bro? You got a suit on? You think that changes things? What's he talking about? Which countries did he specifically say people are coming from that are shithole countries? Where he said they live in mud huts. What does that signify? What are we doing here? No, he's not talking about Mexico. No, he specifically referred to African nations. Okay? He wasn't talking about, he literally then turned around and said, why don't they come from good countries like Norway? Okay? He literally was saying African nations in Haiti. I wonder what he meant by that. I wonder what he was talking about. I wonder why he said that. It's pretty funny, especially considering that like Nigerians have the highest rate of education, higher education in this country out of all of the ethnic demographics. Anyway,
honest politician.
And we can't forget about creative editing in today's society. Trump is a transactional man. He's from Queens. And if anybody knows people from Queens like to exaggerate because they were always against the Bronx or Brooklyn or Manhattan. So it's part of his personality. But what I really like about him is not only, you know, has he been wrong about certain things? Who isn't? Is he a perfect human being? Who is? But do I think he's out there intentionally lying to the American people? No, I do not.
And I think Trump, if he were a liar, his life would actually be a lot easier.
I think you're a real freak if you think Trump is an honest man. Like I can maybe reason with you if you say every politician is dishonest, so like Trump is also dishonest, but at least he's like honest in his dishonesty, right? But like when you just across the board say Trump is an honest man, is like the most delusional thing you can say. It is akin to being like Trump is an honest, God-fearing Christian. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
easier because the press has come after him for things like using tax loopholes, and he'll come out and say, yeah, I use them. All rich people use them.
By the way, this person is literally Canadian, okay? She is a professional news commentator, Lauren Chen, and also professionally Canadian. What is she talking about? Pro-Trump Republican. You're Canadian, man. What's happening with these goddamn immigrants coming into this country from Canada, okay? What the hell's going on? What happened, Jubilee? You couldn't find one American commentator? What's going on here?
But if you don't use them, why wouldn't I? And I think he's so unfiltered that he almost wouldn't have the ability to lie. That's just not his personality. And he actually gets attacked for being too honest and too glib, like you were saying.
Build that northern border wall, man. We got to send these Canadians back, bro. Let me tell you, I'm sick and tired, okay? We're talking about the border. You're worrying about the wrong border, son. What's happening here? Goddamn Canadians coming down here talking about American politics. We got to put a stop to it.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
Here comes the sun.
I just can't agree. I mean, I think if Trump was an honest man, then he wouldn't be on trial right now for lying about having sex with a porn star and using his business records to cover it up.
Oh, they're not going to like that. They're going to say that wasn't what it was about.
Okay,
that wasn't what the
so
trial
we
was
know.
about. Here, let me guess. That's not what the trial was about. The trial was actually about America and the American justice, or as I like to call it, the American injustice system. They prosecuted him with a woke libtard judge, woke libtard DA, partially paid by George Soros, and they came after him because they were afraid he was going to win the election, and that's the only reason. The real reasons as to why Donald Trump is being prosecuted in a court of law is because everybody is afraid of him, and Joe Biden is old, and he can't win the election on his own, so he had to use his Justice Department.
Anytime that MAGA places Trump up with Jesus, I mean, this happens all the time.
That doesn't happen. That's a
It
lie.
absolutely
That's a
does.
lie.
There was
Yeah, dude, totally. No, famously, MAGA is not always comparing Trump to Jesus.
a segment in the Daily Show with I'm forgetting his name, Jordan Klepper. There was a segment of the Daily Show
who's
with Jordan
Jordan
Klepper
Klepper? Who
where they
cares
went
what
to a
Jordan
Trump
Klepper
rally.
is?
Let's let him
Where they went to a
Yeah.
Trump rally. There was a segment where they went to a Trump rally and they asked supporters at the Trump rally, "Hey, does Trump remind you of Jesus?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's been so persecuted." He's
Right, but
been,
what does that have to do
like,
with his honesty? You just brought up the
Yeah.
if I can finish, you brought up the Stormy Daniels incident, which he is literally being sued for saying I didn't rape her.
Right.
He's being sued.
No. Stormy Daniels is saying that he had sex with
Eugene
a porn
Carroll,
star.
excuse me.
Yeah, sorry. I'm talking about Stormy Daniels, the case going on in New York right now, where he's being sued because he covered up a $130,000 payment by falsifying his business.
Allegedly.
No, he did.
Allegedly.
He did. He 100% did.
Okay,
Because
and
Michael-
New York
Wait, what do you mean allegedly? No, he was convicted. F you mean allegedly? There is no alleged at that point. He was convicted by a jury of his peers, like he was found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. What are we talking about allegedly? Hello? I mean, what?
City changed the law, making a misdemeanor a felony to make it a criminal trial.
Okay, but lying and having it be a misdemeanor is not
well,
any
and
different
again,
than
he
lying and
says
having
that
it be
he
a
didn't
felony.
have sex with her.
Yeah,
That's
He
a
said
good
he
point.
did.
I like that he said that. He's right. It doesn't change the reality that he still lied. Like, oh, it was just a misdemeanor instead of a felony. Okay, who cares? Still a lie, you know? Got him.
He still
Tim,
made
were
the
you
payment to
there?
her, and he falsified.
Well,
I don't know
a
if he
lot
had
of
sex with her or not.
celebrities make
It doesn't matter
hush
if he had
money
sex with her.
I don't think a
And it
porn
wasn't
star is a
done-
celebrity, with all due
Yeah,
respect.
Well, you know, with all due respect, you're 2.5 hours late, so I really don't care what you have to say.
Oh,
Time's on us.
Daddy. Oh, the girls are fighting.
A lot
Shots
more.
fired.
A lot more.
You know what? I left my son's
Enabling.
birthday party an hour before he turned 9.
That's sad. You're a sad person. You're literally a sad person for admitting that. Why would you admit that? Massive L. I left my son's birthday party, my son's 9-year-old birthday party to be at the Jubilee shoot. Are you insane? Child Protection Services. Call him up. Call him up. That's crazy.
Just to be here because I
You didn't know it was going to be his birthday?
No, I did know it was
already-
going to be.
Okay, we'll get back.
Okay, Lauren Chen. Pretty good retort. Pretty good retort. Pretty good rebuttal. You didn't know it was his birthday? Why the are you here then?
On
Okay,
to
I do
talk.
want to keep.
Lovin'.
I want
I
to
like
keep the
that's
focus
very
on the focus on the prompt.
So
We're
if I can
firing-
ask this
we're
young
firing
man,
on all
because he
cylinders.
seems to bring up these trials a lot. So can I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you think that there has ever been an instance of using the law to hurt a political enemy? Has that ever happened in this country?
I think that
They got there finally. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Has that ever happened in this country?
absolutely. I think that
Okay,
some of the no, listen. Let me finish.
Okay.
I think that some of the cases against Trump are a little bit stretched. I will give you that. But at the same time, Trump did falsify these business records, and we've known about it for the past 5 years. It hasn't been brought to court because he was president, but as soon as he wasn't president, they brought it to court. There was $130,000 that he falsified as a business expense. So,
Bro, this guy is such a MSNBC watcher. What's going on here?
if you're going to say that he was being honest about that, he wasn't being honest. It doesn't matter whether it's a misdemeanor
And
or
yet
felony.
they're charging
It's
it with
still
a
lie.
campaign.
Right. So let's say I give you this one instance of dishonesty.
But it wasn't
How does
one.
that
Look
prove that
about
in its
Jenny
totality,
Carroll.
President Trump is more dishonest,
I challenge
especially
you.
versus other
Let's
politicians?
RC.
Right?
Why wouldn't you
So
want to
you're giving me one example.
Hold on.
I
Why
just
wouldn't
gave
you
you
want to
another
be
one.
honest about your business dealings, though?
just
Isn't
one.
that literally one of the most founding?
Wait, what? He just openly admitted that, yeah, sure, Trump might have like had sex with a porn star and then like tried to cover it up and pay hush money payments on a trial that also like showed that he was also collaborating with the National Enquirer to do like catch and kill schemes while also simultaneously, digging dirt on his political rivals and constantly pumping negative propaganda about his political rivals at the time from the National Enquirer, which he was like, which is a propaganda rag. It's a, dish rag, basically. How does that not spell even further dishonesty in that just one singular instance alone?
Marks of American.
Again,
34 and 50's back. Let's go, boys. He's back with the 50 big ones.
we can debate the intricacies of this trial, which is literally being legislated right now in court. So
I would argue
but
that
I'm saying,
his
let's say
entire
you're right.
rhetoric is a lie. He's campaigning in 2024 on the fact that he won the 2020 election. He did not win the 2020 election.
How
he
many
is
presidents-
0 for 60 in court cases.
Well, let's not even forget the
He is
entire
if you
tagline of
put a
Make
batter
America
up-
Great Again.
How many
America was already
presidents have
great.
been elected? Not how many bellwether counties do they have to win to become
It
president?
doesn't matter.
No,
There
it
has
does
not been
matter.
a single proven
Historically-
case of fraud.
All right.
There has not been a single
I want to
proven
just
case
pull
of
in
fraud.
voices who haven't spoke yet.
Okay, this dude is cooking. Okay, it's Pack Watch, dude. Damn. This is like one of the only instances where like the Lincoln Republican ass dudes I think do a decent job. Did he give another 50? Yo, this guy's out of control. This guy's out of control. 34, 50. Holy moly.
Sorry, what's your name?
Travis.
Travis, you were trying to get in here?
The issue that I personally take with the honesty of Trump is that the entire tagline of Make America Great Again is inherently dishonest because America was already great. Sure, we've got a lot of
Wow.
issues that are going on in the country. We've got racial division, we've got
Wow.
political division. Even the factionalism between the political sides
Another
are an
50!
issue. But that doesn't mean that America isn't already
This guy's
inherently
crazy.
great. We've got so many great policies that are in place. The American dream
Like
is
what? What do you mean? What are some great policies that we have in place? Please. Oh my God, elaborate. Oh my God. What do you mean we have some great policies in place? Please do not let him hanging. Obviously, not a single one of those guys is like, nah,
still
hold
alive,
on.
I believe, personally.
Can I ask, did you take that directly from Elizabeth Warren or Hillary?
Neither.
Got him.
I've-
Got him. Tell that nerd. Okay, let him fight. This is a real let him fight moment, and I'm honestly on board with both sides. I'm actually unconditionally supporting both sides in this battle.
I heard them say that many times. I was just curious.
Drag him, queen.
Well, it doesn't make it any less true, even if they did say it. I mean, do you think that the American dream is dead? Do you think people just can't move up?
Well, if America is so great under
let
the
me
leadership
answer.
of Barack Obama and Joe Biden, then why
Yeah.
even bother being a Republican?
Right.
But just to
Right.
close the loop, let's.
No, he
'cause
asked me a
we got lots
question.
of great prompts.
He asked me a question I want to answer
Oh, okay.
with a general statement. A lot of people would call you, our opposition here, rhinos. I will not use that word. I consider you.
Oh, Lady MAGA, you're so sick. You're so good. She's so woke. She's kind of woke, I would say. She's not going to use the term rhino.
Democrat.
Respect.
And what
just not
does
true.
rhino mean?
Republican in name only.
only.
That's
I
just
consider you a
Can I
Democrat
respond?
as well as you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
thank
and
you
let's,
kindly.
let's.
I just can't. I don't understand how you can say that. I have conservative values. I have conservative values on abortion. I have conservative values on education. I just don't like a cult leader leading our cause.
Can I ask
So,
you, will you be voting for Biden or Trump, or are you sitting out?
I will be voting for Biden because I don't.
so
want-
Yeah, so you're
Yourself a conservative.
Yo, he said it. He said it. I do love a dude who's like, dude. I do love a dude who's just like basically honest. Like he's more honest than like progressive people who are like, I'm voting for Biden because he's the best candidate. Like he's so progressive. Like that guy is literally more honest. Biden is genuinely telegraphing his entire political project around that one guy. Now, how many of those guys exist, I do not know. But that is who Biden is campaigning for, and that motherfucker is listening. So yeah, if you are a conservative and you do legitimately think that like, oh, Trump is too corrupt or he's too much of a freak and he's too chaotic, like why the wouldn't you vote for Biden? He is literally a conservative. He is a Republican, okay, in so many of the issues.
How is that a Democrat?
Thank you.
How are you a Democrat if you vote for a Democrat?
Because I don't want someone in power that's going to not want to leave. I don't want someone.
Oh my God.
Like,
you are not a Republican.
At the end of 4 years.
Freaking way.
We had gotten to a point where, let's say there is an instance where Trump it's proven that he was dishonest about something. Are you willing to look past that? You were trying to make that point.
Well, the point I had made, and I didn't get an answer from either of these folks, which is, comparatively, is Trump more honest than other politicians? And we've given examples of how he is and how that has actually led to persecution from him. In fact, you're only kind of proving this. You agree that lawfare exists, but for some reason you don't think it's applicable in this criminal trial. So my question is, do you think he's comparatively honest based upon the fact that he's off the cuff and very authentic?
So first
Would
of all,
you give me that?
just because all of the trials aren't the best cases doesn't mean that some of the trials aren't great cases. Like, for example, he kept files at Mar-a-Lago for 6 months with warnings from the FBI and CIA. And
So did
he had
Biden,
the
though.
chance to give them back, and he
And
didn't.
he
And so now he's
didn't
on trial
under
for
the
it. That's a
Presidential
clear
Records
crime.
Act.
He did the same.
He's so right. Dude, he's so right. It's so funny. Trump is so laughably incompetent, man. It's like, it is, like, how can you defend any of this stuff? It's like stupid. It's like a very stupid thing to try and defend. It is a very stupid thing to try and defend. It just like doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. Strongest Hasanabi hater. This guy 100%. Like I could see this guy being a Destiny community member who despises me to the core. But he's absolutely right on everything that he's brought forward so far. He's just 100% correct.
Same thing with Stormy Daniels. That's a clear crime. So like,
She had to pay
I
his
think
attorney
that
fees.
him being honest about certain things is okay. But if you're not honest about the big stuff, if you're not honest about that
Biden's
Americans
more
can
honest?
trust our
You
elections,
think Biden's more honest?
I think on the issues that matter, he might be than Trump. Because
Bring up classified files. Biden has mishandled classified files as well.
Yeah, which is cool because when given the opportunity, which was also presented to Donald Trump, Biden was like, yeah, go in, Kings. And so did Michael Pence in the same investigation, which is something that nobody ever brings up for some weird reason. It was a two-parter. Both Mike Pence and Joe Biden were investigated by the same authorities. The DOJ was welcomed into their personal homes so they could retrieve whatever files they wanted to. That's the difference. They didn't call up their lawyers and then were like, how do we deal with this? They didn't call up their lawyers and then like lie to the federal authorities and be like, no, I don't have any files. They didn't lie to their own lawyers and called their personal valet to hide some of the classified documents, which is insane. Why would you do any of this? I do not know. Question is whether Trump is trustworthy. How the fuck is their answer? Is Biden trustworthy? Yeah. Trump is an honest man is the question. And the only way that a reactionary can ever make sense of the world is by reacting to or having a reactionary approach to the opposite side. That's why they're immediately turning the conversation back to Biden, which even in this circumstance, it doesn't fucking matter because guess what? Biden cooperated with the authorities because he's not he's a bad person. He's Genocide Joe, but at least he's not an idiot. Despite the fact that he has dementia, there's still something going on up there where he was like, yeah, of course, the federal authorities can come literally retrieve all the files. My bad. That's it. Donald Trump didn't do that.
I don't see how you can.
But he didn't willfully do that, and he gave them back when the FBI asked him.
Okay, let's reset because we're gonna get to all the good stuff again. So let's reset next month.
Reset.
Hey there, how did that conversation make you feel? Do political debates make you feel anxious? I feel you on that. Look, if we're gonna get through this.
Anti-Trump Republicans are Democrats in disguise. Will the agreeers please step forward?
So I think conceptually it's perfectly possible to be a Republican and say, you know what, I don't think Trump is the best option. I would rather someone like Ron DeSantis. And I know a lot of friends who are hardcore conservatives, they would rather DeSantis for X, Y, or Z reasons. That's totally legitimate. But at the end of the day, they're still Republicans, they're still conservative, so they're going to vote for the person on the ballot who best represents conservative values. That is Donald Trump. I don't care what kind of personal issues you have with him. You don't think he's the most honest, whatever. You don't like his business dealings. You can't tell me, though, that you honestly believe that Joe Biden is going to pursue a more conservative right-wing agenda than Donald Trump. There's no justification for that. And so, you know, anti-Trump, yeah, not necessarily. Maybe there's one or two people who describe themselves that way, but they're still a Republican. But it seems like when push comes to shove, 99% of the time, when there is someone who says, I'm a Republican, but I just don't like Trump, they also end up saying, and I will, in fact, be voting for Joe Biden.
Mitt Romney said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
Well, and again, we've seen it with Liz Cheney and many others, and I think we have a problem with the uniparty in this country right now. When you look
at— What do you mean by that, uniparty?
What I mean by that I think that there's a lot of politicians that are funded by corporations and lobbyists, and they don't care about the voice of the people, what they—
Yeah, which Trump definitely is not, like, enacting the agenda of corporations. Like, when I think of someone who didn't literally do exactly that, I think of Donald Trump. That's insane.
care about is where the money's coming from. That's what I mean by uniparty. And I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't think it's exclusively Republican. I don't think it's exclusively Democrat. The problem I have is when we see our country right now, we've got 18 million people that have crossed our border illegally. We have over 100,000 missing migrant children, and we have Biden's State Department basically giving our military base in Panama, funding NGOs with military-age men and flying them into our country. If you can vote for that and say you're a Republican, I'm sorry, you're not.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
That's dynamic, Jab. I can see you. Why?
I am a big believer in the phrase, by their enemies you shall know them.
Yeah, by the way, this is a funny moment too. You're right. This is like, I mean, this is expected, but I think per capita, this might have the highest density of fact checks. Like, the entire Jubilee video is riddled with fact checks. Every time a conservative, especially a MAGA conservative, says anything, they have to drop a context note underneath. I've never seen this many fact checks ever.
I'm from Utah. I'm a gay man, a drag artist, but I don't believe in pronouns. I don't claim to be a woman. I would never go into a women's bathroom. But our very Republican—
Yeah, bro, because you're a gay man. Why the would you go into a woman's bathroom? What do you think? Oh my God. This is my favorite psycho, I swear. Just so brain broken. Remember when Walter Masterson was like interviewing hogs at, I think, was it the RNC or whatever? I don't remember. It was like CPAC, I think, not RNC. And he was like asking him about like transphobia and homophobia. And he was like, I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Mormon governor Spencer Cox can't stand Donald Trump. He's just so mean. And our Republican governor has he, him pronouns in his social media bio. So he is allowing Utah to slide down the slope of wokeism. He is in no way, shape, or form a real conservative. And so people like my cowardly, emasculated governor hate Donald Trump, and that says everything to me. And as this young man said, he would vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden supports aborting a 9-month-old, fully grown baby in the womb.
Do you guys ever notice, I know I'm repeating myself quite a bit today, but do you ever notice that a lot, like damn near the entirety of conservative grievances are just shit that they made up and that, you know, terrified them? It's literally like, politically speaking, living in a country with conservatives is like having to deal with a girlfriend that's constantly dreaming that you cheated on them in a dream and having to deal with that on a daily basis, except now they control the government, even when they're not in power. So you have to deal with their mania on a regular basis, and they will get their wishes across. It's so crazy. It's so insane. It's like, yeah, did you know you can make up anything? Like there's like, oh, I'm sorry, you want to vote for a Democrat? They want to kill babies after they're born. They want to make slides that they shove into the pussies of moms in the process of giving birth, and then have the baby slide from the slide into a pool to drown when they figure out if the baby's going to be conservative or not. Do you want that? It's like, no, that sounds crazy. I would not want that because that's not happening. You just made it up. Why do I have to act like what you are saying is true? Why do I have to sit here and be like, yeah, that's pretty scary. 9-month-olds are being aborted. Like 9-month, like late term, third trimester abortions are happening at an alarming rate. That's crazy. Like voluntary, no reason other than the fact that like a woman went in, got knocked up, carried a fetus in their body for 9 months so that they could have an abortion for funsies. Like all the money, all the trauma, all of the back pain for 9 months just so they could do a shits and gigs type shit. Like, yeah, can't wait to have an aborabo. What are you saying? There is no place in this nation where a person can get a third trimester abortion without medical necessity. Okay? That's not a thing. There's no 9-month abortions. That's murder. Okay? That's number one. There's a different term for that. There is literally no difference between you saying that Joe Biden's advocating for 9-month abortions as you saying Democrats have guns in the surgery room where the doctor literally just shoots the baby as soon as it comes out. Okay? You're just making it up. Why not go wild with it? Democrats want to abort my child for doing a woke gender.
He said he's pro-life, but he would vote for Joe Biden. So yes, he's a Democrat. These people are Democrats, as far as we're concerned.
Lady Maga, do you mind if I just do a quick follow-up?
Of course.
On your story? How do you find yourself as a conservative? I think most people would associate being a gay man. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
gay.
He's like, yo, you're a real freak.
Being gay with being liberal.
But see, I think that's a lie too.
No, I'm just
That
addressing.
we as Republicans don't like gay people. That is
Yeah.
a lie.
No, it
Well,
absolutely.
That is a lie.
It's great to know. I just
can
want to
answer
hear
that
that.
very quickly.
He's
I
like, shut
am
the fuck up. I'm interviewing the freak, okay? Shut the fuck up, please. I would like to hear straight from the most insane person I've ever encountered. A person who goes to Republican conventions where like 90% of the resentment is calling people that look like him groomer pedophiles. How does that happen?
Biological gay man. This is my drag persona. I don't live my life as a woman. But I call it the LGBTQIA plus ever expanding alphabet mafia. And I had to step away from the alphabet people, as I call them, pushing transgenderism, hormones, and mutilation on children. That was one. And as a dignified drag artist who loves to present a sparkly, fabulous character, I could no longer stand by and watch drag queens stripping in a thong and a trapeze in front of children who are the same age as my nieces and nephews.
When has that happened? What are you saying? That is so again, all of my resentment, all of my frustration stems out of my wildest imaginations. Okay? Like, where did you get this? I saw it on Facebook. Yeah, you know what else you saw on Facebook? A legless woman with a bird body, okay, going, please send help. I am looking for husband. With 1,000 boomers underneath in the comment section going, me first, sweetie. Okay? It didn't happen. That does happen, though. Those shows in front of children, they are not stripping. Drag queen reading hour is not being conducted while they are simultaneously stripping in front of the children. It is no different than Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay? It is no different than Mrs. Doubtfire. It is no different than like Ursula. Okay? That's it.
So I had to step away from that. And Donald Trump expanded who gets to be a conservative. The MAGA crowd, we are wild, we are fun, we are outside the box. I don't fit the cookie cutter suit and tie Republican, so as a gay man, that's why I'm a conservative, and there are millions of gay conservatives, but they're terrified to say anything because they will be attacked.
Was
supporting Donald Trump.
Were you a pro-Trump, right? Like when he first entered the political scene?
You know, I voted for him with my eyes closed. I was like, Hillary or Donald Trump? This is a gamble, but obvious I couldn't vote for Hillary. So I voted for Donald Trump, and then I watched
Oh God. Oh, okay.
him very closely. I'm not a celebrity worshiper. He's not a super.
I couldn't vote for Hillary. That's why I voted for Donald Trump, and I'm voting for him again, who was never killed. Donald Trump, famously not a murderer. Okay, there's no American president that is not a murderer. Like, I agree with the Hillary shit, but it's wild.
Star. I'm not in a cult for Donald Trump. I scrutinize every single thing he does because that's my job as an American, is to scrutinize anyone who has a leadership position that involves my life. So he won me over, and I know I'm talking too much, but the day he really, really won me over is when he called Haiti an SHIT hole. And I'll explain why. I lived overseas for 10 years of my life, working in the humanitarian realm. I spent years in Africa. Haiti is very similar to Africa. Children don't have their rights. Women can get raped with no protection from the police.
You're from Utah, bro. What are you talking about? The only difference between Haiti and Utah is that it's like white people doing that shit, and they're doing it in the richest country on the planet. What the fuck do you mean? You are literally from Utah. 100% a Mormon, by the way, definitely went on missions, and is just an unimaginable racist. Why the fuck is Haiti the way it is? We are responsible for Haiti being the way it is, okay? Haiti's material conditions are not identical to Utah, yet the same things that you're talking about persist in Utah. So it's, I guess, okay when a Mormon white dude is doing the things that you are so upset about.
So by calling a spade and using that phrase, I realized this guy gets it. He's not like Barack Hussein Obama, who's a cultural relativist who pretends.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can. Not so funny when she says Barack Hussein Obama. There's a lot more oomph to it. I mean, it's still funny in general. I love that. I love when people say Barack Hussein Obama. I love saying it myself because he is Muslim, and everyone should know that. Anyway, let's continue.
That Haiti is the equal of America in our way of life. So as off-color as the comment was, a little bell went off in my head like, this guy is not a polished teleprompter politician like Mitt Romney. So he won me over. Many other reasons too, but that was an important.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your backstory.
Sorry, could I just expand upon that?
Thank you
I
for
think
sharing
Donald
your-
Trump has won over a lot of people, and if you're anti-Trump in 2016, you don't want to vote for him, I could understand that more. But after seeing everything Donald Trump has done in office to advance the conservative cause, whether that's appointing the judges, easing the tax burden on Americans, trying to do something about the ridiculous immigration system, you name it, he has a proven track record of conservative government. Maybe not as conservative as I would like, but it's still something. And so at this point, for people to still be, no, I would rather Joe Biden, there's no excuse other than you're a Democrat.
Let's bring in our disagreeers. We haven't heard from you yet. Why don't you
I'm not gonna lie. I would have asked, like, I would have taken special care and attention with this freak too. Like that's so fascinating. Like what you're doing is so fascinating to me. It's just like you're a drag queen who is like an unironic Trump dick rider. Like you are literally less safe when you go to Republican conventions than anywhere else. It's awesome.
Okay, there was like so much that said, where would you like me to start from?
Because like there is a level of, I feel like right now, like this would be akin to being like a segregationist black person in the Jim Crow South. You know what I mean? Like a pro-segregationist black person in the Jim Crow South. Because like right now, and I'm not making an equivalence. I'm not saying like the trans people are basically experiencing segregation-like conditions, but I'm saying like you're in a very dangerous environment when you go to these places. Because like you don't know who the has a gun and will kill you because they think you're a groomer. Okay, does that make sense? Because like right now in the modern day, obviously the Republican Party is a threat to black people. Of course, they are a white supremacist party. But having said that, there is a well-established tokenization of black conservatives. So like Republicans at least know like which black person not to be afraid of. You know, like a Candace Owens type. Whereas I don't think Republicans have that same level of like understanding of like a token drag queen. You know what I mean? Like there is no one of the good ones for drag queens. Like I don't think there is one of the good ones for drag queens. Whereas like there is definitely a well-established precedent for like one of the good ones for a black conservative, one of the good ones for, you know, a Latino conservative, which, you know, obviously there's a lot of Latino conservatives, but like, you see what I'm saying?
Whatever feels right to you.
All right, thank you. I think, first of all, when we say that it was an isolated incident, and just to touch back just a moment before, just because you have diarrhea of the mouth does not mean you're honest. It just means you have poor couth. You don't know how to be respectful. And B, as a lot of you say, what is the Republican candidate movement is the word that's coming about. It's about faith, family, values, integrity. When you think of Donald Trump, do you think of integrity?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But, and again, I'm not looking.
J. Edgar Hoover and Roy Cohn erasure. Are you kidding me? First of all, J. Edgar Hoover's era, people didn't even understand what drag queens were. They just thought you're gay. That's it. They hated gay people. Or rather not drag queens, sorry, trans people in general. Like they didn't have like the same association with like drag queens and trans culture or being trans in general as they do now. That is a very new development. The association with like drag queens and trans people came after trans visibility, came after gay marriage was legalized, and then Republicans were looking desperately at a new target to attack, which became trans people. That's new tech, exactly. Because like, think about how much cross-dressing has been like a part of Western culture, a part of just, it's global pretty much, but like especially Western culture, like all the way from Shakespeare all the way up to Mrs. Doubtfire, you know what I mean? It is a very new thing where people are like, I hate drag queens because they're groomer pedophiles because they remind me of trans people. And that's actually what trans people are too. Like a lot of the anti-drag momentum is just anti-trans momentum in general. Anyway, let's continue.
Let me
for
finish.
A pastor, I'm looking
that was
for
more
a president.
rhetorical. That was more rhetorical, if you will. Thank you. So I think that's the first thing to be said. And you said one incident with the Stormy Daniels. And
again, we're in disagreement there.
Okay, but let's go on. You just think about this for a moment. The likelihood of these two women being in the same room, a writer and a porn star, barely a celebrity, D-list celebrity, right? Even if she was an amazing producer and writer of porn films, okay? She's still very bottom D-list celebrity. And this woman who never would have crossed paths under any circumstances. Where are these women meeting, by the way? Is she writing the porn scripts? No, we know that's not true. And they both have the same story. The same story. Let me finish. You've been talking a lot. Let me finish, please. It's just not coincidence. You have to say there's a little bit of shred of truth there that two women from opposite walks of life would have the same narrative. It just doesn't make sense that that would be all lies. And so that's just the first thing, because you were saying, oh, it's only one incident.
No, I never said that.
Well, someone.
But I said what you're saying is not true because it doesn't give the entire fact of the matter. First of all, you say that you should believe women. Does that mean that you also believe Tara?
I never said that we should believe women.
Well, do you, Tara Reid, for instance?
Yeah, that's so funny. Dude, for a second, because of the way she was chirping, I think we all forgot collectively that it's the top of the hour ad break. That's what's going on. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. But yeah, we also collectively forgot that like they are not liberals, they're hogs, they're conservatives. Will you read my response now? What is your response? What? That does happen though. Those shows in front of children. It's called Circus at the Top of the Hour. Oh, I didn't see that.
Who was slammed and shamed for accusing Joe Biden and actually had the evidence to back it up. You're talking about Jean Carroll. I would challenge anybody in this room.
$83 million.
I would challenge let me finish what I'm saying now, please. I would challenge anybody in this room to go into a crowded department store and scream that you're being raped and see what happens. There were no witnesses. This woman went on CNN, said that she thought rape was sexy, and named her cat Vagina. I think she's a nut job. As far as Stormy Daniels, she had to pay.
Bro, please read top left corner of the video. Is so important. Anti-Trump Republicans are Democrats in disguise. What? Pro-Trump Republicans versus anti-Trump Republicans?
Trump's legal fees last time around. And let's not forget, her attorney that put her up to this is in jail.
And to be clear, I don't believe these two incidents are just coincidences. I think they're both actively lying and politically motivated. So no, it's not a coincidence.
You're giving little highlights of the story that suit you about Stormy.
No, that's not true.
That is true, sweetheart.
No, it's not, and don't call me sweetheart.
I can call you whatever I'd like.
Okay.
Let's just.
Sorry, I'm just very annoyed that we all sat here.
You keep going on and on.
We're gonna have to
completely
look.
irrelevant.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
This conversation had nothing to do with the question, okay? The question is, anti-Trump Republicans are Democrats in disguise, and they have literally, what is going on? They did not even fight over the actual argument that they're supposed to be fighting over. What the f?
Clearly have a victim
We're gonna have to
mentality.
keep moving forward. I haven't heard from you yet.
Are we gonna?
I know time's more valuable for you because you're
Okay.
older. I
Okay.
understand.
Okay. So the.
Oh! Yes, bitch! Yes! She said, I know time's more valuable for you because you're old. Yo, look at her face. Oh my God. Oh my God. God damn, son. Holy shit.
The prompt.
Don't. If you want to go there, I'll go.
Okay, so the prompt is, anti-Trump Republicans are actually Democrats. And you came in because you disagree.
Yeah, bring him back. Bring him back. What are you doing, big bro? Bring him back.
Well, I mean, and I have the perspective of really being a proud Democrat till 2012-13 when I started saying, okay, the left has completely lost its mind.
That guy definitely is a Destiny fan. Okay, 100%. Someone just said, do they always have moderators in other Jubilee videos that are like this prominent, like in other middle ground videos? Because where's another middle ground video?
Does that mean that I'm?
Oh, they do. I don't really remember them chiming in this much. Like this is the most active moderator. This is the most active moderator. I don't know if it's like a recent decision or if they had to like really do more to wrangle these hogs.
And I mean, I've played at the White House 4 times, all with Democratic presidents. But I feel like I've never really moved on many of my issues. It's just the left has gone so far left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Completely. But
He doesn't speak for all of us.
no. But the thing is, and Laura, you bring up a great point about, you can slice the pie so many ways of what to call each other. The elites and the politicians versus the uniparty versus everyone else. There's so many ways you can slice it. The Democrats can be cut up in different ways. Republicans can be cut up in different ways. But my main value is protecting individualism over collectivism, capitalism over anything else. Just these core values of America. And am I anti-Trump? Absolutely. Does that mean I'm going to vote for Joe Biden? Hell no. I'm not going to do that. So you can't just call it that, we're Democrats. No, I'm someone that was a Democrat, and I would never call myself that anymore, which is sad to say, but hell no. So it's complicated.
King.
So many ways you can slice the pie.
What makes you anti-Trump, if you had to choose one thing?
Well, I mean, even on the last prompt with, is he an honest man? Even that's kind of complicated because when you asked it, it's like, oh God, no, he's not an honest man. He lies like crazy. But Gavin Newsom lies, I think, worse than Trump does. You were more talking in the topic and aspect of, does he say things that the rest of us think in our mind and go, I wish I could say that publicly. Yeah, he does. And they all do. It's more, plus the reason I even added to this to be part of this whole thing is the idea that
this is the most Reddit dude out in the wild. Is this guy related? Is this guy Gentile Brace Belden? How dare you? How dare you? Brace would never wear this fit. Brace is swagged the fuck out, dude. No, this man is just, Brace is nowhere near as Reddit as this man. Brace doesn't know what Reddit is. That's crazy. Gentile Brace. That's so fucked up. Oh no, Brace would never. That's crazy.
That the left has just so many things they stand for is so hypocritical, so terrible, and they've put themselves on this tee as a ball for someone to hit as a grand slam and destroy them. And it's sad, especially from my perspective, coming from the left originally, to see that the person that we've decided to hit that ball and destroy them, which we should all be a team together to destroy this enemy, is Donald Trump. Really? With all the great Republicans that I really love, he's the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land to save the country from the Marxist left and everything
Who would
else
you
with them?
choose?
The Marxist
So
left.
many, well, actually, a lot of Trump's VPs, unfortunately, are some of my favorite people. Whether it's Vivek, whether it's Tulsi, whether it's Byron Donalds, I mean,
Bro, what is happening, dude? It's what a wild way to live, dude. He said Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy. Why don't you like, if you like Vivek, why the don't you like Trump? Like, that makes no dang sense, bro. Vivek is literally just Trump, but Indian. Like, he very clearly tailored every aspect of his campaign off of Trump.
I mean, I love Condoleezza Rice. We already talked about Thomas Sowell, one of my absolute heroes in the world. But
Thomas Sowell is one of his absolute heroes of the world. This is 100% a hate watcher? Oh, for sure.
him of all, and the thing is, it has stifled this war to which we should all be together and destroying the left and stopping them. And now we're just fighting each other, and it's ruining the war to which we should be all together on.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have seen 8 years of lawfare, and it's been very clear, lawfare. General Flynn, I was with him last night. His family was destroyed over a
General Flynn? Yo, MAGA Republicans have no chill, dude. She's bringing up the GOAT, General Michael Flynn. That's crazy. I mean, respect. She was hanging out with Michael. Who the fuck is hanging out with Michael Flynn? Apparently her.
lie. Over a lie. Russiagate was a lie. Spygate was a lie. I truly believe,
Speak on it.
murderers get 25 to life in prison. This lawfare, do you know how many years Trump's facing? 700 years in prison. Do you really think that he...
Wait, for what? What? For what? Does she actually think that New York would throw Trump in a slammer for 700 years over a first offense for like lying on a business paperwork? First of all, the 700-year number is not correct, okay? Let's just get that out of the way real quick. Unfortunately, I wish it was, but it's not correct. He's going for 4 years max, but that's not going to happen anyway either. But that's awesome that she, in her mind, thinks he's going to jail for 700 years.
He deserves that.
No.
And I truly think that if we allow lawfare I believe that if we allow lawfare to travel as far and get away with what they've done, we don't have a country anymore.
No, the precedents that could be set if
Oh,
he's
it's
convicted on these things.
disgusting.
It's like you can hate him. It's fine to hate him for this, that, and the other reason, but to allow the precedent, even the insurrection situation, which like, did he push it?
No.
Did he?
Oh my gosh, she almost admitted that she was there and then stopped herself and went, I got friends.
Push it to happen?
I was not there. If the FBI is watching, I was not there. I have friends that were there. I was not. I was not there.
Kind of, but did he say go to the Capitol and blast the
No,
Can I
he
jump,
said,
can I
no,
jump in
he's
there for a
playing
second?
patriotically.
Just to
Your voice
address
be
the
heard.
prompt real quick. If being a Republican is sucking up...
Please click this. Corey Reddit Man plays accordion. Oh my God. Okay. I was about to say, you said Gentile Brace Belden and that you were wrong, that he's not Gentile. Oh my God, you were right. He is Gentile Brace Belden. One of the great honors of my life. Even though I'm not Jewish, I can't state how immense the emotion was that overcame me to play that piece of music. This is incredible. Straight up. Straight up. I get why American Jews that are like born into the false understanding of Zionism and like educated on Zionism is a good thing. I get why they become unconditional dick riders. I will never understand how that indoctrination works on like a dude who's not brought up in an evangelical church. Like a Christian dude who's like, I was a lifelong Democrat. Like this level of dick riding Israel, it's just like so It's so strange. It's so strange to me. Like, where did you, like, what? You did not go to, like, you didn't have what is it called, like J League or whatever, J Camp? Like, you didn't actually have overnight camp. You didn't go to the synagogue. You did not, like, your indoctrination into Zionism did not happen early on. Like, how? Dude, listen to a few Malthus Yahoo albums and now he's a Zionist. You didn't even get hit with the John Fetterman the car crash autism that made you into a major Zionist, okay? You didn't do Hebrew school. How? Especially if you aren't personally, like, in an evangelical church or whatever, where they're constantly being like, the rapture is going to happen. And, like, that's why we need to put the Jews in the desert immediately so they can also burn in hell with the rest of the non-believers as we get sucked into heaven. Like, if that's not where you're learning from, like, an early age as a non-Jewish person, like, what is happening? How did you get this level of indoctrination? It makes no sense. Anyway, let's continue.
Up to Trump, then I am not a Republican.
I think being a Republican just means not literally voting Democrat.
No, that's not what being a Republican means. People are split ticket and are still a member of a party. I can be a Republican and vote for a Democrat that I think does a better job. It's not that complicated. People used to have, like, sense and be in the middle. Like Bob Dole.
You would be so
there's a
successful
quote.
in the Democrat
hold on,
Party.
sorry. Bob Dole, just like, there was a quote from Bob Dole where he said, you know, my enemy, he's not my enemy, he's my opponent. And that's where I feel like we've strayed from the Republican Party. That's what Donald Trump brought in 2016, was this mentality, oh, we have to hate them because we don't agree with them. We have to hate them. They can't take office. They can't be anywhere near.
Okay, bro, you lost me. Okay, Republicans have always talked about hating the Democrats. What do you mean? Like, Republicans, brother, since the day that you were born, which I suspect is like, what, 20 years ago max, the Republican Party, the modern Republican Party, has never had a moment where they weren't saying the Democrats are pedophiles, okay? Like, Donald Trump might have unleashed or unshackled, unrestricted the commentary a little bit so that, like, the average American can come to terms with it and repeat it. But, like, the energy was always there. There was plenty of people in the Republican Party that were always hitting that, okay? There was never a moment, especially after Barack Obama, there was never a moment where the Republican Party wasn't like, these guys are like pedophile monsters. These guys literally brought the spawn of Satan, a black man, to the highest position of power. I will never forgive them. They are straight up, like, post 9/11, they were like, Democrats literally want to and suck Al-Qaeda. They want to have sex with Osama bin Laden. And then after Barack Obama, it was over.
Anything.
Are you quoting him?
What?
He said he said we have to hate them. Are you quoting Donald J. Trump?
He talks about Democrats as the enemy all the time.
But look at
he said fuck Joe Biden on his True Self.
Do Democrats talk about Republicans as the enemy?
Is that hate?
Young man, do Democrats talk about Republicans as the enemy?
I've been a Republican a lot longer than 2016. Absolutely. And I've definitely been hated longer by Donald Trump.
But I think that Donald Trump has exacerbated the situation, so much so to the point where he thought that it was like so much of a tragedy of Republicans losing the 2020 election that he thought there's no way it could happen. There's no way, because Democrats are so bad that the only way that we lose is if it's rigged. So what he did is he built up the tension 7 months in advance. He was telling his supporters that the election was only going to be rigged if he lost. 7 months in April of 2020, 7 months in advance, he said it is rigged if I lose. And then in August, he said it again. It's not a rigged election.
Let's dig into. Yeah, we're gonna dig into the election in a.
Not to agree with the MAGA Republicans here, but like, this dude is a Democrat. Okay, just own it. I mean, he does kind of own it, but he is a Democrat. Come on, big dog.
20 seconds. No, you finish.
Okay, I was just gonna say, sorry. So like, and then when he calls his supporters up on January 6th, you can say whatever you want about what he told them to do at the Capitol, but if you call your supporters up on January 6th, have a massive rally with millions of people, tell them to march down to the Capitol, it doesn't matter what he said. He set up Mike Pence as a traitor if he didn't accept those electoral votes.
You said we're gonna cover the insurrection.
Okay.
I have the luck of being a political strategist. So I've actually seen the data set of anti-Trump Republicans who are hard Republicans who usually do vote Republican in elections. I think the reason why that is because psychological manipulation is very powerful. And I think that if you're weak enough, you're susceptible to it. I don't want to get personal here, but we have people on stage, 3 young men who look like they haven't lifted a weight in their life. And we have a woman.
What does that have to do with my political?
What the? Yo, yeah. When I think of, yeah, dog. When I think of like strong men, I immediately, my mind goes to an Oklahoma Walmart. That's what I think of, like peak male physique at the demonstrated at the Oklahoma Walmart in the reddest place in America. Okay, like you are literally sucking Donald Trump's dick. Do you think he has lifted a weight? Donald Trump personally thinks that he has a finite amount of energy captured in his body and that he can't move around too much, because if he moves around too much, he's going to die early. Okay? What are you talking about? What do you mean? He said, yeah, you're a liberal and a soy boy. That's awesome. Yeah, you're not ready for the psychological warfare because you haven't lifted weights. This is why I clear all of these like animalistic primal arguments, okay? And this is why you need to also lift weights, so you can own these goddamn Republicans who are like, oh, you're a soy boy. Not that it matters, but it is really fun when they can't really pull that shit on you. Like the red pillars.
And we have a woman.
Wait, I want to hear what he says about
I have a heart
Hold
condition.
on.
That makes me
Let me finish. And we have a woman displaying the Jezebel spirit here despite her age. Despite her age. Wow. The point I'm making is behind every never
even
Trump,
Melania shows
behind
cleavage
every
more
never
than I
Trump
do.
Republican is a story
Let's
for why
hear
that
this point
person
out.
is weak and for why that person is accepting of the psychological manipulations and warfare used by Democrats. This young man is a musician. He just probably doesn't want to hurt his liberal friends and ruin his,
This young man is so
positionality.
whitewashed, he doesn't even know how to be black anymore.
Look at him. Look at him. You think he has friends? That's so nice of you. This is the most Reddit guy on the planet. He has no friends. He has losers that he must own in the marketplace of ideas, and he has invaders that are going to come into his Reddit that he's moderating, that he will banish into the nether realm. Okay, that's it. That is the only interaction that he's getting ever. Also, what is my queen about to pop off with?
Fair, used by Democrats. This young man is a musician. He just probably doesn't want to hurt his liberal friends and ruin his,
This young man is so
positionality.
whitewashed, he doesn't even know how to be black anymore.
So you think that?
You can't say that, lady. That's crazy. On Juneteenth? On Juneteenth? What are we doing? What are we doing here? You can't say that, lady. Oh, the moderator. Look at how devious he is, bro. Oh, come on, Kaya. Jesus Christ. Uh-oh. Hello? Hello? What? What? What, you want to get up here? What? What? Look at how devious his face looks. He's just like, yeah, that's content. Also, red jacket lady, in that moment, I just want to, this is a great freeze frame. What you are about to experience is what I like to call everyone's a liberal at the end of the day. She says something that's totally out of pocket. Okay? She says something that is totally and utterly out of pocket. Now, do we think that a group of Republicans, whether anti-Trump or pro-Trump, have not heard infinitely worse shit? Of course. They say infinitely worse shit about black people to black people. But right now, liberalism is about to kick in, and they are all going to be very performatively offended. A quintessential liberal trope. And they're going to be offended from a woke perspective. They're going to say, how dare you? Okay? Let me run it back a little bit.
I don't mind.
Oh,
Positionality.
shit. Kaya, what did you do? Oh, Kaya, unplug the cable again. Okay, out. Get out. Get out of there. Get out of there. Go, place. Fat ass. God damn it. It's so weird. It's my dog. Shut up.
Whitewashed. She
That is
doesn't even
the
know how to
worst.
be black anymore.
So you think that because we're
if you want to go there about my
Can I also
cleavage,
ask
I
how
can go
lifting
there.
a weight is
Do
in
you even,
any
have
way
you
related
even,
to
do you
Republicanism?
even know anything about studies show that
Let's
people who go to the
let's
gym are
reset.
specifically
Let's
more
reset.
conservative?
We want to be very
You
cautious
would
of
definitely get
descending
beat up
into
if you went
personal
down the street.
insults. We want to be
Well, that's what
cautious
she's
of any
done. She's
personal
a
insults.
But she'll make it at Yale
Kumbaya.
and Harvard for
Deep
sure.
breaths. Inhale, exhale.
Deep
Kumbaya.
breaths. That's right, Lady Maga. Can you guide everybody in a deep
Deep
breath?
breath. Zen.
That was crazy. I've never seen them break it up.
We thought this would be a calm one.
Oh my gosh, I totally did. Yeah.
If my eyes were closed, you would be white.
Where do they get their news? Because I'll guarantee
Let's
Bro, she's still going. Yo, she is so racially charged right now. She is racially motivated. What is happening? Yo, this is the best. Oh, Jubilee needs to make bangers like this, dude. Oh my God.
let's avoid personal
Yeah,
attacks.
please don't speak about my cleavage. Melania shows more than I do.
All right. The next prompt is the 2020 election was rigged. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Sit over here this time too.
Yeah. I studied the lighting before I came here. That seat, and this seat have the best lighting.
Yeah, so just so we're all clear, no one said there's no evidence of fraud. The decisions that were made by judges was that there was not enough fraud to overturn the election. So it's an analytical.
Wait, what? There was not enough fraud to overturn the election? Like, as in they took an L? Like, what do you mean? Like, they tried it? They tried it. There just wasn't enough fraud? What is that? What is he saying?
Political decision that I never saw any actual test on how that can be proved.
The prompt says it was rigged. You
Right.
believe it was rigged.
100%.
And why?
Well, number one, there's anomalies in almost every swing state. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona.
This is my other favorite Republican cope because it's just like, it's literally it's like, how could we have lost to a carcass moment for all of them? Like, when you're filled with so much love for Donald Trump and you think he can do no wrong, and in your mind you think he's awesome, and then all of a sudden some old ass freak comes out of nowhere and just defeats this carcass, defeats your God King Emperor. Yeah, that's going to be hard to cope with. Like, I get it. That's why so much of this happened, for the record. They were like, how could Donald Trump have ever lost to this guy?
Georgia, mail-in balloting was put in as a tool in order for the left to pump more votes. Republicans have been fighting against voter fraud and for election integrity for years. I guess some of these people, maybe 2020 was the first time they ever thought that an election could be rigged, but Republicans have been.
Yeah, Republicans have been lying about election fraud for years. Yeah. So, yeah, it's true. They have been. He's not wrong. Remember, I told you this even back then. Once again, Donald Trump is not an anomaly. Republicans, all of those professional Republicans, were complaining about election fraud and immigrants doing fake votes and blah, blah, blah for decades. Okay. Donald Trump just basically took that to the logical conclusion and said every single thing that, like, Paul Ryan has said. Instead of pussyfooting around the issue and calling into question the integrity of the elections, he just straight up said, they're rigged. Mexicans voted. They're rigged. They're super rigged. Democrats rigged it. I won. That's it.
Been fighting against purging old inactive voter names off of rolls for a long time. President Trump, one of the first things he did was he tried to get secretaries of states to cooperate and submit data so they can prove the fraud was happening. And what happened? Democrat state secretary.
Ayatollah Joe, Democrats stole the nomination for Henry Wallace and Bernie. Why would they not steal it from Trump? What are you talking about? You think it's the same? The primaries don't have to be Democratic, right? And they aren't. The Democratic Party's primaries literally had super delegates from the jump that would massage the outcomes in 2016 no matter what happens. There's already a media apparatus that is like, oh, you're just saying stuff. Okay, got it. That's crazy. There's a major difference between a Democratic primary where the Democratic Party was literally sued and successfully won a lawsuit that stated that they can choose whoever the they want as their party candidate, just so you guys know. Like, even if obviously this is an extreme scenario and it most likely would never happen, but even if, like, Bernie was clearly the winner, right, and got the majority of the votes, ultimately the Democratic Party could still be like, nope, we're going to take a different candidate. We're going to take a different route. They legally have the right to do so.
Secretary of States did not agree to comply. And uniparty Secretary of States also did the same thing.
And just so I can be crystal clear, just because it's a very technical thing, you're saying there were anomalies, you don't believe they were rigorously investigated?
I believe that they were all swept under the rug, and we can get into every individual situation, such as what happened in Maricopa County, what happened in Fulton County in Georgia, but those intricacies might get extrapolated when these jokesters come up here, but I think that the proof is in the pudding. The election was rigged.
Well, and the thing that I saw as well, when these cases went to court, most of them were dismissed upon standing. The evidence was never heard. And that's something that they don't tell you. Another thing, it was almost like death by 1,000 cuts. We had COVID. Mass mail-in voting is not safe or secure. There's no chain of custody. I do not believe that Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama. I just don't. Donald Trump got the most votes of any former president in history, and yet we had the machines shut down at night. I saw ballots pulled from under a table. I saw a woman scan them again and again and again. I watched the hearing when
where'd you see those?
Where'd I see that?
Yeah, just.
I saw it when they were having the hearings in the beginning when they were presenting the cases.
Gotcha.
I also saw, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I just think, we had the Zuckerbucks. We had it wasn't just one thing, it was multiple things coming together. I would love to see California get rid of mass mail-in voting. I'm fine with absentee ballots. My son is a Marine. And when I ran for office, he had just gotten out of boot camp. And after he got out of boot camp, he came home for 2 weeks before being shipped to Pensacola, voted by mail. We tracked his ballot. He never got there. It never got there. So if my own child, when I was a candidate, his vote didn't get there, why should I believe that doesn't happen a lot?
And to expand upon this a little bit, one of the biggest things that the left likes to bring up when it comes to 2016 and the idea of Russian interference is actually Facebook ads,
Yeah, if it happened to your son, this is not trackable in general. There's no statistics to look at in terms of like how many votes. Also, we should defund the USPS further. She says Zuckerbucks. I do love like how mimetically inclined like the average 58-year-old conservative woman is. Like they're brain broken by Facebook and like they're brain broken by Facebook in the same way that like the average person is. Wait, I just saw something crazy. Kaide was offered a contract by Kick? What the f?
Kaide reacted to the X-Staff kick. No, bro, and I honestly don't care. People were asking me about it, but it's whatever. I got an offer from Kick and I declined it.
Kaide's so Canadian. So Canadian. I love Kaide. She's amazing.
People were asking me about it, but it's whatever.
About it?
I got an offer from Kick and I declined it. I decided that morally I didn't really want to go over to Kick. And even if they did try to exploit me for my cancer,
so bad, bro.
it doesn't matter.
I lived, bitch.
I think it's weird to say, like we can offer for cheaper rates. Kaide.
Damn, you mean to tell me that esteemed journalist XQC asked Kick, and Kick told him that they didn't ask? Because this is what was happening yesterday.
What I was told is that there is Steak absolutely never talked to her about any Gamba shit, not even once, and none at Kick either from the higher ups. If somebody went out to get her to sue on Kick, shit, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to ask her, but I don't know.
Stick this out, and obviously.
Did he actually ask the Kick people? I wonder, because that's crazy. Like that is actually like did he ask Kig and they lied to him? Like what was he gonna say here? He asked Train and Train said no, bro. Bro's paid $100 million to not ask questions. Yeah, I mean, listen. It's $100 million. You know what I mean? For XQC, it's not the same for as it would be for you, but even then, still $100 million, I guess. This is unfair because X doesn't have systems to help back up his claims. W or L capitalism for trying to get a profit off of someone's serious diagnosis. Yeah, W capitalism, as always. There's slightly more nuance to it. Having said that, Kaide has now clarified that Kik did reach out for a streaming contract. Let's continue.
Facebook memes basically trying to influence the electorate via social media. That was considered election interference back then. Fast forward to 2020, and you actually have sites like Facebook and even Twitter blocking the Hunter Biden laptop story, which we know for a fact independents especially say would have absolutely swayed the way they voted in the 2020 election. And it's not just the Hunter Biden laptop story. A bunch of other right-wing accounts have also been throttled by big tech. We know this. There was a push toward authoritative sources on sites like YouTube.
I left her out there to eat, and then I'm like, I'm not hearing no food. What's happening? It got awfully quiet back there because I thought once she was done eating, she would come back here. Turns out she put her period ass on the white couch and bled on the couch a little bit, just a little bit. But she did that shit. God damn it.
Which basically is the mainstream media, which is leftist media. So there was an attempt by big tech to control the narrative, which they did, suppress anti-Biden stories, which they did. I don't know how you can say that, maybe a Russian bot posting on Facebook, well, that's election interference.
Why is this happening?
Facebook itself, the platform, throttling important news, that's not election interference.
And this isn't a left or right thing.
Exactly.
I can say I posted the New York Post story. My Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channels were censored immediately at the same time, and then they took my business pages. That should not happen in America.
Amen.
Just, focusing one more time on the prompt, just because I think this is really
I'd
important.
love to contribute something.
Yeah, and maybe you can respond to this.
It's about the prompt.
The word rigged. Do any of you believe there was like a coordinated, vast effort?
Absolutely.
And
yes.
Could you kind of explain?
I just need a clarification from you. You mentioned someone named Barack Obama. Did you mean Barack Hussein Obama?
Yes, that's the one.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. Anyway, so with the election in 2020.
Fucking got him. That is his middle name. It's true. Thank God for that clarification. That's so crazy.
Number one, we had unprecedented anomalies in the way that everybody voted. So that right there puts things into question because it was the first time we'd ever done it this way. And we all saw the voting places with cardboard over the windows so that Republicans couldn't see in. I'm willing to say, I don't have proof. I'm not 100% sure, but what I am 100% sure of is there has not been a completely transparent, bipartisan investigation of this so that we don't even have to argue about it. The fact that we're arguing about it means that there has not been a solid, concrete, fact-based investigation into that election.
And people need to trust the vote, or this is never going to go away. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican.
I don't trust the vote right now.
It's not up for debate. As she proved, was there media interference and was there censorship? Yes. Did that interfere with the election? Yes. Was there one single party pushing for unbridled mail-in votes because they thought that could increase their chance of winning? Unequivocally, yes. I think that is the proof in the pudding. The election was rigged. It's not up for debate.
Amen.
Okay, let's bring in our disagreeers.
I personally would have voted for Trump in 2020. I think for me, a lot of the shift in how I view, versus Republican, Democrat versus like Trump being an anomaly has come after the 2020 election with his behavior on, the election being rigged and things. But I think that I was willing to hear him out. He's a sitting president. He makes claims of fraud. You have to, respect that because you're in office. Like especially if it's in your own party, you have to hear them out. But when there were 60 court cases, and you can say that they were, I know you think that they weren't heard.
They were dismissed on standing.
But
let's hear what he's.
Most of those judges, or at least half of them, were pro-Trump judges, and all of those cases went up to the Supreme Court. Okay, every single one of the important cases,
Cook 'em, goat. Cook 'em.
went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court denied the writ of certiorari. All right, and so the 6-3 Supreme Court that Donald Trump had just put in, that conservatives celebrated as being completely legitimate, and they would bring about a lot of great change for conservatives.
Okay, bro. Don't say conservatives. Say we celebrated. You know, you're a conservative too. No, come on, bro. You're the game up. You're giving the bag away, dude. You're fumbling. Say we, bro. Don't say conservatives.
They didn't accept any of the charges that Donald Trump made against the electorate. And then you have Sidney Powell, you have Rudy Giuliani, all getting criminally charged because they lied about the election.
Sydney just won her case.
Okay, but that...
Sydney just...
God damn, MAGA Republicans are so stupid. I would have immediately clamped on them. I would have been like, oh, what do you mean conservatives? Why aren't you saying we? Huh? What do you mean conservatives, huh?
Won 2 days ago.
Go into specifics.
She won.
Saying what?
She was not guilty.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay,
2 days ago.
But there have been a bunch of suits.
Rudy Giuliani.
A Texas appellate court did recently reject any attorney disciplinary charges against Donald Trump's ally Sidney Powell, finding that prosecutors failed to prove that she engaged in fraud and dishonesty. Nearly 70% of the articles reporting on her win come from highly credible sources. However, Powell did plead guilty in Georgia to 6 misdemeanor charges in an effort to overturn the 2020
Yeah,
election.
Rudy Giuliani is definitely going to.
America's mayor.
So,
okay, so she pled guilty. What are we talking about?
but there were suits made, like for example, Fox News settled $787 million with Dominion Voting. Okay, James O'Keefe settled with the people that he defamed through the Erie, Pennsylvania, like post office.
Whistleblower defamed him, not James O'Keefe. A
Yeah, but
whistleblower said
he and his
heard
media
election
group, which
fraud.
published it,
Right. So
as
there's
being
nuance there.
censory.
It sounds like you don't understand the nuance of a lot of these issues. You just said half the,
The
judges.
nuance meaning
you
what?
said half the judges who dismissed these cases were pro-Trump judges. What
Yeah,
does that mean?
there was
they were appointed by Bush. They weren't
No, they were
appointed by
appointed
Trump.
There was
Half-
a lot. There
half
were
of the
Republican judges, right? What
So
are,
they
are
were
you saying?
appointed by Trump.
Are you saying
Yeah,
there's
where
like
are you
this
getting
massive scheme among the judges? The judges got together beforehand and they were like, oh, like you know what? We actually all
telling you,
hate
your
Donald
information
Trump.
is
I do
wrong.
believe they all hate
Half of
Donald
them
You
were-
think all of them got?
Oh, she's like, yeah, I do actually. Thank you for making my point for me. I am that crazy. She's like, I am that crazy.
Together.
I'm out of
You're
my
saying-
mind.
You
I'm
believe-
saying,
where they
fact
get
check,
their
So
half of
what?
the dismissals
So
were
what?
not judges that were appointed by Trump. That's
No,
just
not
factually
appointed
You're
by-
saying his
Oh,
information
God.
is wrong.
Oh, everyone's a liberal at the end of the day. He said, fact check. Hasan, this kid is such a nerd. Wait, what? Wait, okay, this dude is not he's a Reagan Republican, and he said, we can never have a Sheldon White House president? Bro, what are you talking about? This dude is like not even a regular Democrat. He's like more progressive than the average Democrat. Who the in the Republican Party wants Sheldon White House, dude? Are you kidding me? Are you insane? Bro, that is literally, you cannot be a Reagan Republican who likes Sheldon White House as president. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't realize it's just because his name is White House. Oh, I'm such a nerd. God, I'm a bigger nerd than this guy. Oh, I didn't even understand that he was joking. Immediately, I was thinking of like his policies, like the things that he advocates for. That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. Okay. You okay there? No, I'm not. I didn't get the proper amount of sleep last night. Okay, I'm tired. I'm going to end it here. Fuck it. We'll finish the rest of this video tomorrow. Look at this. She heard noises outside. Let Kai stream? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I let Kai stream every day. Elden Ring DLC comes out tomorrow. We'll watch the pro-Trump, anti-Trump Republicans the rest of the video tomorrow.